All right, welcome back to the Rush Hour Podcast. I'm here with my boy Sizzle, and yeah, this is we're going to be talking about a suggested topic. So this topic actually came from This topic came from Sam Scott 2344, and it says, for Rush Hour topic idea, since Sizzle just did his top 10 decks of the format, what are some decks you guys think have the potential to enter the top 10 in the next year or so? What do you think those decks need to do to get there? And so just to recap, Sizzle did a video very recently of his top 10 decks going into nationals, and so those decks are Vayu, Hero Frog, Blackwing, Forgs, Glad Beast, Machina Control, Amaryllis, Christy Sworn / Lightsworn, Diva Hero, and Gigavice. Those are like the top 10. And then he made honorable mention Dragon Turbo. So it goes without saying, Dragon Turbo is one of the decks that I could see being a top 10 deck in the next year. Dragon Turbo is like very, very good to me. I think that the deck is still a threat, but no one plays it. It's probably one of the least represented decks. And like you always say, and I say it too, there's only like a couple people who can play Dragon Turbo correctly and do well with it usually. But I do think that's because people don't grind with that deck the 9,000 hours you need to get really good at Dragon Turbo, like the way those guys, right? Coco, Hydro Pump, and Ghost Rider have.
Yeah, no one grinds it, but those three have grinded it and they get results.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise, right?
Yeah, I think the deck's broken.
Yeah, same. I think the deck is broken. I think that's what's needed is you need to play the deck. If you're going to pick that as your deck, right, you have to really stick with it and not give up and be like, I'm just going to Blackwings, right? Or I'm just going to Vayu Turbo. If you do that, like, you know, that's fine. Find your deck. I'm a big proponent of finding your deck, but I do think that Dragon Turbo needs a lot of love and care and a lot of time into it. You'd be surprised at how many games you could have won if you notice this weird situation that's like a 1 out of 1,000 game situation. That's what Dragon Turbo does. It tests your ability to like win through some really obscure situations.
Yeah, you have to be aware at all times, like what you could possibly lose or die to, and be like, I can pass here. I won't die to anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
or,
stuff like
take
that.
the chance. Yeah.
It's hard to do that. Yeah.
It is, and it's scary. But you get an extra card that could lead to the 5 extra cards, and
the game's over.
Yeah. Yep.
So another deck that me and Sizzle talked about before we started recording in this is gadgets, and specifically Solidarity gadgets. Would you say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the scary one. Solidarity gadgets. When you're able to beat a hamster, that's the scary gadget deck. I
don't think it could. I could see it being number 10 maybe, but I think just pure Machina Control is just straight up better. You have to see Solidarity, and if it ever gets popular, people will just side back in pulling the rugs, and I feel like that is essentially Psalm Warning for free against that deck because it's a turn skip essentially almost. Yeah,
it really is, because they don't play Ultimate Offering, so they don't have that like, oh, I gotcha, like here's Ultimate Offering and a second gadget, and you just lose. No, you're right. Pulling the rug is really strong against it. Side decking in general, Cyber Dragon will always be really good against that deck. Gadgets are scary though, because they every turn are built in Black Whirlwind, and with Solidarity, it really does feel like Black Whirlwind because they're big. So they become a threat to like Hero Beat, they become a threat to Blackwings, they become a threat to Vayu, like they beat over Greffer, which is something they normally can't just do.
Yep.
I love gadgets, and I've tried gadgets a lot of times, and usually I don't feel like the deck is that good, but it recently did top YCS Houston, I think it was this year, and it got pretty far. Like, honestly, the guy was X1. We featured him on Teach Me How to Cook, and he had a reason why he plays 8 gadgets instead of 9, and you know, stuff like that, which is he said he's been playing gadgets since literally Edison back in 2010 essentially. Like that's the deck that he's always played. And this goes back to the one tricking thing. Like he's been one tricking gadgets and they got him success. So again, you see it there, like you have to grind. Somebody has to grind the deck a lot to inspire other people to try it. I feel like after that guy topped and we did a video and stuff like that, that might have made people want to try gadgets more often. So now when you go in a tournament, there might be more gadget players, and then next thing you know, there could be more gadget tops. And that's all it really takes to get the ball rolling. Like for a deck to become top 10, it just needs representation and then good pilots. Once it starts getting tops, people are copycats in this. Like the people love playing what does well. So people don't play gadgets right now because gadgets don't have the most accolades. So they kind of just like, oh, they think it's bad by default. And I get it.
Yeah, that is pretty cool though. It only takes one person.
Usually one person doing really well with something can inspire someone else, and then that can open up the floodgates. Because if I think about Hero Frogs, right? Ronak was the first one to top with Hero Frogs, obviously. And then after him, I went and topped Deck Devastators 4 or 5, one of those, with my own brew of Hero Frogs. And then I topped Ultimate, the first ever Ultimate Time was with Hero Frogs. And next thing you know, because Hero Frogs I never mirror matched for multiple, like,
yeah,
I played
I rarely saw that deck.
Played a ton of tournaments, never mirror match. But then after I started playing it, then Oscar Zelaya played at the next Ultimate Time was in Indianapolis, and he won with it. So then you have like Ronak starting the runoff, but then me picking it up, and then that starts to branch out, and then now Hero Frogs is literally one of the best 3 decks in the entire Edison. Like, yep. It all started from Ronak doing that initial thing though. If he never did that, and I never find that deck, then the whole timeline changes and it could be still an undiscovered deck or unrepresented deck. But now it's like super popular. Now you play against it all the time in tournament. It's actually kind of obnoxious because I hate mirror matches. But that, you know, these are the kind of things that are needed: representation, good pilots. So another deck that, and this is kind of this one, I don't even think people really know about that much, but Lightsworn Vayu, I think like could actually be a top 10 deck. I've been watching some replays at the Peak of the Beak that's currently going on right now as we record this. And when I say Lightsworn Vayu, I mean like literally it is a Lightsworn deck through and through. It is playing JD and everything, and also playing Greffers and Vayu and stuff, and it looks kind of broken. I'm not gonna lie. You're combining two of the strongest engines in the format.
Yeah, I've seen my friend Chef Taku play it. He actually topped the Chicago Monthly with it and got top 16 at Niagara with it, I think. And then, dude, there's one turn he summoned Caius, it got like judgmented, and then he summoned like Soul Purity Light, then summoned JD or something. I was just like, what is like? And then he summoned Armed Wing like through a price. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. Like like extenders on extenders. Like that deck just seems unreal if it gets going.
Yeah, I can see that deck, if it gets a good list, because this is the problem with some of the decks that are like not in the top 10. They just don't have the right list yet. They don't have the Sizzle 41 yet. This is what it is. Like they just don't have that. This is the list, and you can change things from the list, but if you don't even have the list to start, it's kind of hard to top and do well with a deck. So once someone figures it out, like there was a point where Dragon Turbo, same thing, it wasn't figured out. Like people were playing just like the wrong ratios. Some cards were just missing, and then eventually people figured out like, oh, this is how this deck should be built, and it's been successful ever since. Like it's Dragon Turbo's won multiple tournaments now, and so stuff like that. Like you need to find the right list first, and I cannot say that Lightsworn Vayu has found that like perfect list yet.
Not even close.
But when it does, I can see it being a threat. That's kind of why I'm putting in like that bubbling under top 10, but could potentially get there one day. What about you? What deck do you think could potentially like?
Well, the one deck is Pudding Fairies that Pudding obviously popularized, but I know Metaphos Marcus, he is also like in love with that deck, and he thinks it's a really, really high ceiling. I mean, any Krisha deck I feel like is absolutely broken. Or not every Krisha deck, but I should say every Krisha deck has a high ceiling, right? Krisha is probably the best boss monster in the game.
It's up there. I still think Dark Arm is better overall, but that's like a different conversation. I think Dark Arm is because of Deep Prison and Bottomless Trap Hole and Mirror Force and things like that. That Christia is a little bit easier to deal with. I think Dark Arm ends the game usually when it comes down, on a turn it comes down. And I don't think Christia literally ends the game all the time. But again, this is a complete, we could talk about this on a separate video. But I think Christie is up there, like top 3. I just think when I think about the card that ends the most games as a boss monster when it comes out, I think Dark Arm is like, Dark Arm comes down, game ended from that point. Like literally.
I mean, Dark Arm is the best engine anyway, so it's
that goes into why I think Dark Arm is the better boss monster as well, is because it doesn't require you to play bad cards. But anyway, but Christie, the point is like Christie is ridiculous.
But I think Pudding Fairies is really, really good. It's like a combination of like regular Christia Storm and like normal fairies with Dimensional Alchemist. And when I see Marcus play that deck, there's like extenders on extenders and Dimensional Alchemist. I've never seen Dimensional Alchemist so good like ever before. Like it just gets to reoccur so much.
I wonder, because that deck doesn't play Dark Armed, but it plays a lot of Dark Monsters.
Yeah, that's why the deck's unsolved, because I know Marcus has tried to build it with Dark Armed.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something there, but
when I play Dark Monsters, I just want to play Dark Arm. I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you're gonna play a lot of Darks, I feel like Dark Arm is like part of the reason why you play a lot of Darks. And I don't know the exact Dark count of Pudding Fairies. It might not be as high as I think it is. Like I know Trag, Gores, Battle Fader, which gets banished usually. But if there's enough Darks, then maybe that's something that could be tweaked about it to make it just like to add that extra level of ignorance, because Dark Arm just steals games as well. You could be losing because that deck does brick. Like that's his problem, is that sometimes you open up like Inrise, Christia, Soul of Purity, and Light and all that shit and you just lose. But Dark Arm is a card that if you can establish it, you can just win the game being down bad if you just get a Dark Arm off, because people lose all their cards. It's really hard to win after you lose all your cards. Like I don't know what to say. Like you just lose.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it just sucks that sometimes it's not consistent enough. But I mean, it plays Enrise for dark control, so maybe there's something there.
It plays Chaos Whisperer 2, I think. Does it play
Chaos Whisperer 2? I know the original Pudding list doesn't play Return, and I was telling Marcus, like, bro, how is this deck not playing Return?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
I was playing Treacherous. Yeah, so I don't know. All these lists are unsolved. Like, I was thinking my tier list from, like, number 10 to, like, number, like, 5, even 4, like...
Yeah.
None of these decks are solved.
Yeah, no, that's big true. Like, so you're 10 again is Vayu, Hero Frog, Blackwing, Forg, Glabbeast, Machina Control, Amaryllis, Christiasworn / Lightsworn, Diva Hero, Gigavice. I definitely think Gigavice is not solved. Like it's the youngest deck on that tier list. It's definitely the youngest, and it's been out since Orlando basically. Like it's when it really, I would say the clock started Orlando, and it's had a couple tops, but they're still figuring stuff out in that channel. When that deck gets figured out, it's going to be way more like annoying to play against, because there's a balancing act between defense and combo. And like if the deck is just a glass cannon, then it loses to just aggression from Vayu and Blackwing players. Like they just can beat you down when you don't have anything to defend yourself. So it's like, can you play it? I know the discussion is, can you play the deck as a mid-range deck kind of? And I was wondering about that too. Like if you middle of the game just go Gigavice, Supervise, Gigaplant, Supervise, that's still broken. Like you don't have to do it turn one. Yeah. Almost every build is geared towards doing it turn one. Like they're playing so many bad cards that do it turn one. But like if you can play it as a kind of a, I can grind a little bit and then I'll just bring this out when resources are lower. Going Power Tool, Gigaplant, get it back, make Titanium Stardust as an option for the third monster in the middle of the game is still crazy. Like if that just happened randomly in the middle of a game, you're like, oh god, what just happened? Like this game got so out of hand.
Yeah, if you maybe there's something there. Maybe if you could somehow build a deck to somehow go like if the game state can go down to like 2-2 or even 3-3 cards and just out of nowhere Lone Fire Supervise, it's over. It's big over too. I don't think you can come because they try to do it turn one, and granted it is very strong to do it turn one, but it's also when your opponent is the strongest too, technically. Like they have 6 cards, they have the most chances that they'll ever have to like deal with it. Granted, decks require setup and stuff like that, but still, 6 cards is a lot of cards. But yeah, Gigavice, I definitely think is like, you know, you have it as number 10. Some people might not see it as even being in the top 10, but I think it's up there. I think something with Geartown. I think Geartown is underexplored, bro. Yeah, it definitely is. And especially as a Vayu Turbo player, bro, like Ancient Gear Beast and Gajilotron Dragon just cook me. It's really, really hard to deal with. But I don't know, it's a machine deck.
It is a machine deck. Yeah, you gotta play the 8-star guy. That's definitely a brick. You do not want to draw that card.
A lot of these decks that we're listing, I realized, like they definitely have high potential. Like that's why Edison's so cool, because all these decks can beat like all the tier, like, you know, top 10 decks or whatever. But if someone, like, people need to figure out how to unbrick these decks, because that's the biggest problem, and that's like what is really keeping me away from even trying these decks, because I feel like I'm just gonna brick. Yeah, someone can figure out the ratios and like figure out how to brick way less while still maintaining the power level, which I think is definitely possible. Just people have to try the decks.
Yeah, it is hard because the Gajilotron Dragon I'm thinking about, you usually have to play 2 of it. And imagine having the same odds of opening that card as you do of Black Whirlwind, right? You'd be like, well, why not just play Black Wings at that? Like, if I'm going to be opening up Gajilotron Dragon, I'd rather just be Black Whirlwind.
Yeah, and they're machines, so Cyber Dragons everywhere right now.
Yeah, Cyber Dragon's not going anywhere. Now that Glabbeasts are like definitively a top 5, I think Cyber Dragon's here to stay. People are main decking Cyber Dragon. The guy who just won with Hero Frogs, like Siberia.
Oh, he main decked one, right?
He main decked one Cyber Dragon. And Hero Frogs, like Cyber Dragon is out here. Cyber Dragon is being played in Vayu. I see people top with that, like as an extra light for Chaos Sorcerer. Cyber Dragon is just very good, and it makes machine decks. There was a time where Cyber Dragon was out, like it was just out, and now it's fully back. Yeah. So machines definitely got intrinsically worse. Like not so much, but it obviously it hurts them more when people are playing Cyber Dragon when they're not.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know, that deck I feel like is just so bricky, but it is scary. Yeah.
What about zombies? Like, because zombies have won tournaments in the past, like before Edison was like what it is now. They've been close though. The thing is, zombies got second at Niagara, like Tele Zombies or whatever the hell. And then they also got second at Anaheim. So they've been second at
Anaheim. It got second at which one was the one Denny won? Didn't it get second there?
Oh yeah. It got second. I think it's the same guy, by the way. But
it got, same guy,
it got second at Sacramento.
Yeah.
So it's been like right there. And I do put a lot of value on a deck winning a tournament, but getting second like a bunch is also pretty impressive too. Like 3 seconds is kind of crazy. Zombies are like right there. They might even be better than like one of the decks in the top 10 that you have, but I and you probably both feel the same way. I always just feel like it's not as good. When I play it or play against it, I don't feel like the deck is that good, personally.
I think that deck is really freaking hard to play for one thing. And there's like 3 zombie builds out there that no one knows which one is I think Instant is the best build. Yeah. But no one knows for sure.
Yeah, and you don't play the deck for the amount of time needed to really figure that out. Like we can't answer that question for the zombie community. There are 3 builds, and Instant, the Teledad one, and then there's like the Diva one, right? There's like
Offering.
Offering is so there's 4, because you got the Diva Hero one that I know, what's the kid's name He's really
Jake XO.
Jake XO. His build is really good, but then yeah, he's a kid to me. I'm like 10 years older than him. I feel like he's a kid. Like, yeah, there's so many builds of zombies. We don't know which one is the best one, and I don't know if anyone's put in the 9,000 hours needed to figure out like this is the best zombie deck first. So establish which one is the best, and then grind it out to figure out how to play it borderline perfectly, so that you become a threat in a format that inspires other people to pick up zombies and take it seriously.
Yo, shouts to Jake though, because he was kind of the only one playing Diva Hero Zombie. Like, he kind of made standardized that build. Like, no one was playing like Miracle Fusions before, Gold Sarks before in that build.
Yeah,
so, I think that's really cool.
I think you're right. I think he also has the most success with it, even if he's not necessarily the one who like kicked it off. That to me, it doesn't matter, because I'm looking at like he has a lot of accolades from last year with that deck, and it made me scared. I mean, I actually lost him in one of the tournaments. I was playing straight up Frog Monarchs, I'm pretty sure, and I just could not deal with how fast his deck was. Like, the aggression was just too much for me, and I just got destroyed. So that deck is definitely scary, and maybe that's the right one. I love playing Stratos. I love having more like active cards. Stratos is such a good turn one play. Yeah, it could be that's the best one. I don't know. 4 different zombie decks. Ultimate Offering could be the best. Who knows? But Hero Beat fell out of favor. That is not top 10 anymore. It's crazy. Hero Beat used to be considered one of the best decks in the format. Like 2023, early 2024 even, I would say. And then that shit nosedived so bad. It definitely is not a top. I don't think it's better than any of the decks you have listed here. But like, I guess the question is, do we think it could enter the top 10 again? And I think it could, because GBs are so good and Blackwings are so good.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a meta call deck. It's definitely an anti-meta-ish deck in my head now. Before it was meta, now I just feel like it's actually just anti-meta almost.
All right, that's a good take.
It has it has what I call brick syndrome, where it only takes like 1 or 2 bad hands for you to be like, this deck is ass. Like, Diva Hero has brick syndrome, right? Like, you can play Diva Hero and then all of a sudden like open like double Mally Gilman, you're like, I'm not playing this deck ever again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely has brick syndrome, but like the main thing is it loses to Vayu. Like, I think a good Vayu player will have a great edge against Hero Beat, and Vayu is one of the most played decks, so I can definitely see it sneaking into number 10, but I can't see it ever reclaiming what it once was.
Bro, don't forget the fucking frog matchups. There are 2 frog decks in your top 10.
Oh yeah.
That is, I'm telling you, cannot be frogs. Like, it, and Forgs is like a super nightmare, because Forgs can dupe block you so many times in one game with triple pot average, triple salvage. It's not looking good. It's so hard to break a dupe block once, to break it like a second, third, potentially 4th time. And also, like, Forks is trying to kill you while this is happening. They're not just like, oh, dupe blocking you and then hoping that you just lose from attrition. They're like double armor arm on Alias and then just crash. Like, I don't know. It's scary. It's scary.
I feel like you could just go like Death Frog Substitute Flip Flop Beatdown and beat them, because your Death Frog can't die by battle, trades with them for free, and then that's just disgusting. That's
also really bad too. The Death Frog not dying in battle thing is huge. Yeah,
can't honest.
Yeah, you can. You just take a huge minus.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Hero Frogs naturally beats it as well. Like, I don't know, it's just one of those. I feel like Hero Frogs is just a better version of the deck. I always felt that way. I remember a long time ago in 2023 when I first did a tier list, I was like, I think Hero Frogs is the best Miracle Fusion deck. I think Diva Hero is second. I think Hero Beat is third. And I still stand by that. I think Hero Beat is the worst Miracle Fusion deck out of all of them. I don't know if it'll ever enter the top 10 again. I think it only really does well against like 2 of the decks, which is Glad Beast and Blackwings. And then like, it can't be good against Gigavice, I imagine. It's not good against Christiasworn. It's not good against Amaryllis. Amaryllis is actually, that's one of Amaryllis' buys. It's not good against Frog Combo. It's not good against Hero Frogs. Not good against Vayu. Machina outgrinds it for sure. Like triple hamster, triple Reiko pots. Diva Hero, every time I see a true hero play Diva Hero versus Hero B, he typically just runs them over, because he's just playing the better Miracle Fusion deck. Like, his deck has Malicious and shit and Plague Spreader. Like, he's making level 8s. You're not doing any of that. You're like hoping that a 1900 monster gets there. He makes a Colossal Fighter attacks.
Stardust.
Yeah. So I think all of the decks in this top 10 are better, except and they're still better. Blackwings and GBs are still better, but they kind of can have a problem with Hero Beat potentially.
I mean, I think it can do well into Lightsworn, Christiasworn. I've never seen the matchup, but I feel like it could if you just like hit all their millers early. But yeah, I don't know.
It depends on what build, because the earliest Christiasworn build that ever taught, which was RBT Rulers in 2022.
Oh yeah, it was playing Hamster, right?
It was playing triple Hamster. I think that build can beat Hero Beat like pretty easily, because I think Hamster's just a problem for Hero Beat. Like, Hamster is such a problem, bro, because you can spark my face down without knowing what it is. There's always the mind game though of like, you know, if it's even a flip monster, it could not be Hamster or Reiko. It could just be like anything. It could be fucking Honest. And then like, if I'm holding the Hamster, like, I don't set it turn 1. I set like Honest to see what you do, and then you spark it just to, you know, pop it. And then I set Hamster afterwards. You're kind of like annoyed.
Yeah. You were for sure annoyed.
Yeah.
And then you just gave him a free piece in the graveyard, yeah.
Yeah, you gave me yeah, exactly. So I don't know that. I don't have high faith in Hero Beat. And the last one I think we have on this list is like Debris Hime.
Yeah.
I think all Hamster, Raikou, Kai's decks are valid basically. Like they all have, like even the Dragon one, and that could be another one too. The one that plays like Red Med, Hamster, Raikou, Kai's, that deck is also like randomly good. Like it's actually just not bad, but nobody plays it. But Debris Hime, which is just essentially Debris Dragons, one of the best cards in the format that isn't really used that well. Dandelions, Hamster, Raikous, usually. You don't have to play Hamster, Raikou, Kai's, but I think that that's like the proven way so far to play it. There could be other potential ways to play it that might pop out soon. But like Debris Dragon as a card is ridiculous with Dandelion because you can make the dupe block miss timing with Black Rose Dragon. Black Rose is Chainlink 2 and Dandelion's Chainlink 1. So Black Rose wipes the field, Chainlink 2, kills the dupe frogs, and then because Dandelion's on Chainlink 1, it has to resolve still, so it makes them miss timing. That is huge. I think breaking a dupe block easily in this format is like one of the criteria to be a good deck. And then Pot of Avarice is just a great card. Like people are finding that out more and more as the format progresses. Like there are more Pot of Avarice decks now. In the top 10, you got Frog Combo, you got Machina, you got Dragon Turbo's up, in that upper echelon of decks. Yeah, Pot is just a really good card too. So I can see Debris Hime sneaking in as like the full circle moment. Like quick draw, one Edison 2010.
Yeah, I play quick draw hero a lot for fun, and I feel like the first thing people say to me when I say like quick draw is like kind of a real deck, they're like, dude, you lose to deck Debbie Oppression. I have like almost an undefeated record against Vayu with quick draw hero. Like, and I've lost as Vayu, I've lost to more quick draw decks than I'd like to say. So really, like the main problem is Blackwing, and it's not really because of Oppression deck dev, it's because of freaking Bora Armed Wing. Piercing my butthole. But yeah, I think the deck is really good. Like you said, Debris Dragon's broken as hell. The fact that you have inbuilt engine that can, like you say, like answer whole board with Black Rose or just Stardust train you, like, yeah, the deck is really good.
Yeah, I agree. Debris Hime and decks like that, decks that are using Debris Dragon, abusing that card, they have potential. I can see the future having Debris Dragon being a big threat in this format. It deals with Fortress, deals with like Titanial, deals with a lot of things. It Absolute Zero, one card Absolute Zero out. Black Rose is just a ridiculous card. It's at one for a reason, but then when you pair it with Pot Avarice, it becomes like this reoccurring nightmare thing. So I don't know. Those are like the ones that we think could potentially in the next year or so enter the top 10.
One more that I just thought of.
Oh, what's that?
I've never played against this deck. Actually, I have one time. Jinzo OTK.
Yeah, I'm scared of that deck. I don't know if it's real, but I'm scared of it.
The deck is scary as fuck. And it's a few tops.
It does.
Not like major, but yeah. And then I know like no one plays it. I know Tom Mack played it one time at RBT Maryland, the one Gary won.
Yep.
And he got like 17th or 18th or something.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah, his build was like kind of troll too, and he only played it because he was mad at vendors for not buying his ulti Chimera techs.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he had two ulti Chimera techs, like the Over Dragon ones that he wanted to sell, but they're worth like a butt ton. And none of the vendors want to buy it. Like, yeah, it makes sense. And then he's like, I'm gonna make these vendors salty and top with it and raise the price up even more. And he almost did, yeah. But that was his one time ever playing the deck, as far as I'm aware. Almost topped. Like, I bet if he one-tricked that deck and played like 5 tournaments, he would definitely get a top.
Yep, and if he added one Jinzo return and one more Jinzo to it, it would be even better.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, that deck is just scary as fuck. Any deck where Future Fusion's an auto-win button is automatically tier 1.5 in my head.
Me too. I feel the same way. Future Fusion is outrageous. Jinzo Returner just topped the EWCQ as well. And I think the person's name was Clemens, and their build was kind of nice. They played obviously triple Jinzo Returner, and they also played Dark Armed, and they were just wiping people. Like what we watched some of him on stream play, and we got on the bingo card like kill from 8,000 twice.
Oh, that was from him.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Yes, like game 1 and game 3, I'm pretty sure they just like OTK'd the opponent from 8,000. It was just not even fair or close, and it came out of nowhere. It was like they seemed to be dueling. And then all of a sudden, you just died. And I remember one person died. They had like a Ryza on the field, and they died at 8,000 life points through a Ryza.
It's so scary if your engine inbuilt just plays around every trap card. You're just like, Jinzo's established. Oh, just take on about anything now. Yeah,
that's true. When you go for it, you know what's going through. So you're like Future Fusion, summon a bunch of Jinzos, summon Dark Arm. Game's over. Yeah, over. Like it's cooked. Like it's fucking overcooked. So yeah, that could be a real one. I don't like decks like that being good.
Yeah, I mean no one does.
Yeah, I'm scared. Like I don't want to promote it too much, but it could end up being real if people take it seriously and again grind the deck out. I think those are the ones that I think we went through everything on the list. Yeah, I'm looking at the list. That's like everything.
Yeah, that's everything.
So guys, what do you think could be in the top 10? We didn't say X Sabers. I think X Sabers, while they're like a lot better than I ever thought, top 10 is hard. Like it's really hard. So I would like to know what you guys in the comment section think about what could potentially be a top 10 deck. And again, if you want the list from Sizzle's video, it's Vayu Turbo, Hero Frogs, Blackwings, Forgs, Glad Beast, Mockery Control, Amaryllis, Christian Sworn / Lightsworn, Diva Hero, Gigavice. Those are like his top 10. I tend to agree with them. Those also seem like all really good decks that I've put really high on my tier list as well. So yeah, let us know and we'll catch you next one. Peace.